Thank you for tuning in to Seeking Beyond. My name is Tara Antonellis. I am an astrologer, a Hellenistic astrologer, and I am a quantum hypnosis healer. If you're curious about my services, please check them out at tarasalchemy.com. Without further ado, I am going to go into the transit forecast for the first week of October. So on Wednesday, the first, Mercury is in Libra and it is squaring Jupiter in Cancer. This is our intellect and our communication, the planet that is involved with our minds. And we are dealing with the other planet of philosophy and passion and abundance and expansion. And so there is a tension between the two. And we can have the tendency to see ourselves overextending our services, overpromising, our ideas could be very big, and maybe we're taking on projects that might not be fulfilled, biting off more than we can chew. Also, communication friction can be possible. There is a challenge with aligning the details with the broader picture, minute details with the expansion. And so there could possibly be some overwhelm and distraction as well. Mercury in Libra focuses on diplomacy and fairness. It's the scales, and it focuses on balance and compromise and seeing all sides to situations. So there could be a need for agreement and possibly glossing over things of discerning natures, but with not wanting to create friction or disagreements, we could be postponing difficult conversations or decisions for the sake of keeping peace. Also, negotiation and collaboration. This favors intellectual pursuits and involving working with other people. So there's a dialogue weighing in on our options here. And also, Jupiter is magnifying those themes of Cancer. So thinking emotional support, security, the home, the family, our personal realm, and things that really matter to us on an individual basis. I'm going to go ahead and share the real-time clock so you can see the chart and what I'm looking at when I'm looking at those transits. Jupiter in Cancer is going to be magnifying the themes of family, our security, our sense of security, and our personal realm. This is going to have us focusing on expanding one's self of belonging, nurturing those that we care for, and tapping into our intuition. There can be a possibility of emotional overreach. So, beliefs and ideologies that are connected to Jupiter and the protective nature and instincts of Cancer, this could have us inner feels and attributing to objectivity. There is a mind versus feeling slash home tension dichotomy that's occurring. Libra, a Librarian Mercury as a fair-minded and diplomatic and a balanced thinker that wants to see the conflict from all sides. And so, a goal oriented, emotionally driven, protective, and expansive Jupiter in Cancer, there could be a little bit of a personal versus public life dichotomy happening. So there's a need for social balance and intellectual exchange clashing with the drive for security, family growth, or emotional fulfillment. And you could be overly tender. Things can feel exaggerated. Sensitivity is blasted up a notch. And it could be happening in our closest relationships. So the Mercurian Libra feeling diplomatic and agreeable, and then a massive emotional need from Jupiter and Cancer can have us wanting to retreat and protect ourselves and protect our hearts and that emotional vulnerability. This can be a difficult time to find balance between the desire to expand ourselves and our horizons, but also paying attention to more immediate, impulsive, personal home-based needs of Cancer. So juggling priorities may be involved, and there could be a risk of bias. So the desire of fairness, the Libra qualities can be distorted by personal bias of the deeply held familial beliefs of Cancer. So making objective communication a challenge. And we want to be mindful in our thinking, our promises that we make to other people, and actively working on finding balance in that area. Hey, on the 3rd of October, Mercury in Libra is now opposing Chiron in Aries. So, this opposition across the Aries Libra axis is self versus other. It's a fully charged healing potential that could be blasted off with this transit. So, there can be an overall theme with our wounds in relationships. The opposition is like two planets sitting at a negotiating table, and they're both trying to exert their opinion. And neither one of them are really listening to one another. They're just trying to get their point across. So anything unhealed can really surface in our minds and our words. The polarity between the need for harmony, which is Libra, in relationships, and the pain surrounding self assertion and our identity, which is Aries, the wound is related to our authenticity and really having the courage to stand in our own power and our own self. There can be a sensitivity to feeling ignored, ridiculed, rejected, or invalidated as an individual on a very personal level. There's a clash when we immediately want to speak up for our boundaries. There can be a peacekeeping effort with Mercury, which could have us sugarcoating things or sticking our foot in our mouths. So there can be a fear of conflict tied to a wound of self rejection. Where do you compromise your voice just to keep the peace? Ask yourself this. This transit calls out that silent agreement. And Mercury opposite Chiron is asking you to heal the words by being honest and not just agreeable for the sake of peacekeeping. The challenge is recognizing that your wounds of self worth, which is Chiron and Aries, has been dictating your relationships, which is Libra. And the healing comes when you realize that the diplomacy isn't avoiding conflict, it's having the courage to speak your authentic truth. All right, October 6th, peaking around 10:47 p.m. Central Standard Time at 14 degrees on Monday. The full moon in Aries and Mercury is also entering the sign of Scorpio. This full moon is also a supermoon. So this means it's closer to Earth. It visually appears bigger in our sky, and astrologically, it tends to amplify those effects, making this emotional peak of this cycle even more intense and even more noticeable. Yay. Around this time, also, Mercury is going to be squaring Pluto in Scorpio and Aquarius. So, this is going to be a high tension time for communication, suggesting deep psychological probing, really wanting to uncover hidden truths. And if you feel intense pressure or possessiveness at this time, this is why. So stay mindful of power struggles in communication and the attempts for communication to be used as manipulation. Jupiter in Cancer is going to suggest that the emotional, deep seated core of whatever is being illuminated and revealed is going to be part of the bigger picture, a core emotional, foundational change that's taking place. So, the main question, what do you need to release or change in your relational dynamics to fully honor and embody the person that you are becoming? The energy is fiery and deep and watery, and it's intense and it's action oriented and transformative. So take clarity gained from this full moon, things that are being shown to you. Make that Scorpio ruled, intense, determined, honest, and courageous changes in your life that are related to partnerships. Stay aware of power struggles, possessiveness, and emotional intensity in conversations, especially around October 6th. And seek the truth, but speak it responsibly. This full moon is like a energetic reset button, and your independence is being prioritized by the cosmos. So, I have some homework for you to do, and here are three things that I would like you to do this week. All right, one, I want you to identify unequal exchange. I want you to look at your relationships in your life and pick one person to analyze, whether it be a friend, a partner, a client, whatever. Look at the relationship and where are you giving more than you are receiving? This full moon is an invitation to call back that energy to yourself. Two, use the Scorpio scythe. I want you to decide what you need to cut out or release in your life that's going to honor the me energy. This could be a behavioral pattern, this could be a relationship or a decision or ideology that you've been holding, whatever it be, cut it, release it, and be determined. Three, take one bold, courageous step. Aries is the sign of action. So this isn't just reflecting. You need to do something. Do something that aligns with those personal needs. Even if that means making a partner or team member feel uncomfortable, this is the time to be the hero of your own story. This Aries full moon is illuminating that delicate dance between the me versus the we. So this week, your homework is to find that point where your fierce independence meets harmonious partnerships. It's not about choosing one or the other. It's about making sure that your yes to someone else doesn't mean a no to yourself. Use this deep scorpionic energy to speak your truth and with love, conviction, and balance. Be balanced, but be true. I hope you have a marvelous week ahead. And until next time, bye.